guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking the Legacy of God books by Rina Kent, and I'm going to be describing some things. Spoiler warning if you guys don't want any spoilers. Just forewarning you, there will be spoilers. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about the book. First book in the Legacy of God books is God of Malice by Rina Kent. I have a lot to say about this book. I think I rated it like a 2 stars now. When I first read it, it was like a 4, but this is the thing. I had time to think about it. Don't get me wrong. I love this book. I love all the characters. It's like the first introduction I had into the Rina Kent universe. So it was mind-boggling and world-changing, but I don't love Glendon and I don't love Killian. But that's also really because Killian, I don't hate him, but I don't love him either. I like him. I like the way he is. I like how he's funny. He's like Landon. Whoops. He's like Landon, but with a bit of psychotic flair, you know? And Landon's a psycho, so really. But yeah, the storyline, the plot, it was giving. Can't believe I just said giving. The storyline, the plot was amazing. I loved the idea of the parents. The parents' perspectives were in it. I think Astrid's perspective was in it as well. But 100% Levi and I think Asher was perspective in here. And I loved listening to them. They were really funny. Jonathan King, I loved how Glendon was Jonathan King's little princess. That was adorable. I loved that. Yeah, this book was amazing. When I first read it though, I really thought it was everything. But this is the thing, I had time to think back on it now and reading the rest of the series. So, and this was the first Rina Kent book I read, so that's another thing. I think Killian was a little too psycho for me. Just a little too psycho. And not because it was psychopath's gross. No, it was more because he was mean. But mean to the people he cares about. Well, that's the thing. That's why I like the way Rina Kent makes psychopaths in this book. She does it by how they nurture versus nature. And he was raised with people calling him a monster, so he became a monster. I mean, he took photos of people in their trauma because he thought it was funny to look back on it. Yeah. He also killed a mouse, and because he wanted to see what was inside of it, and gave it to his mom, and he saw his mom crying, and he's like, oh no, I can't do this again because my mom looks ugly when she cries. Yeah, that wasn't amazing, but he is funny. There are some funny aspects to his character, and I do love the way he is literally I love the thing about the bad guys. The bad guys will always come for you. He will give himself up to save her. And I do love that. That was amazing. And I also love how she's so much like Astrid. It was amazing. But that's after I read the series, after I read the RES series. So now I know who they are and what that thing is. So yeah, I loved it. I do love how it sets them all up. You get a little Nico and Bran sprinkle. And you also get some Gareth. You get some Gareth. And Gareth isn't really in a lot of the other books, which I kind of am very happy that Rina Kent is making a Gareth and Caden book because I want more Gareth. I want to know more of his story, and it was so much fun. I was rereading this before this, and it's so much fun seeing Gareth and Killian's interactions. I really hope in Kiss the Villain they make him and Killian better siblings. I mean, that's what they did with Brandon, Glendon, and Landon. So I really hope they do that with Killian, Gareth. Next book in this series is God of Pain by Rina Kent. I absolutely adore God of Pain, but I ranked it at 3 stars, and I keep it at 3 stars mainly because it got a little repetitive. It was also the first book that in this series that was very, I mean, in the other books, I've read books like that, very spicy, but this is the first time that they showed like, but like there was like the pain stuff, the masochist and the sadist, which is also like, you know, don't get me wrong, I honestly liked their like characters back and forth because of that. It like changed their dynamic with people, and it made her have a tougher skin, which is like interesting. But Creighton, it was really interesting why his trauma was from when he was 3. I mean, it's really hard to remember things when you're 3 years old, but like he still has trauma. Like it wouldn't have changed anything by the age, but it was really hard that it was really interesting that he remembered it when he was 3 years old. So like to me, I thought that was very like unbelievable. But taking that out of account, I loved Creighton. I loved literally his entire character. I loved his relationship with Eli. I loved how the more he was with Annika, the more people person he became. I loved Remy. You got so much Remy in it. Like, and he's so much like his father. I love that so much. And how he literally talked in the group chat with about his parents. He was like, tell my grandparents and parents that I love them. I loved that. That was like amazing. But Annika's character, I loved her. I love Ani. I relate to Ani. Yeah, that's really it. I genuinely loved Ani's character. She's one of my favorites of the girls in these books. If not the second favorite of my like favorite characters of the women in these books, she'd probably be my second favorite character. Yeah. I loved her parents. I loved you got a little bit of Jer and Sassy. But yeah, I did have to stop halfway through to not like, I couldn't finish it. It's because the middle got a little slow. So yeah, but I finished the other half in a day. So it's a really good book and I really did enjoy it, but it did have a lower ranking. Next book in the series is God of Wrath by Rina Kent. I loved this book. I did. But thinking about it, Jeremy and Cecily are not my favorite couple, let alone Jeremy being my favorite guy. I know, huge thing. A lot of people think Jeremy is the best one, but I think he's a little overrated. They made it like Jeremy was so bad, but honestly, like he's not worse than Killian or than Landon. So Jeremy was kind of a little bullying to me, but that's not a problem because I did love him. He just wasn't my favorite. I loved the motorcycle. I thought his relationship with Bodyguard was really funny. I think they should have been of Maya. I loved the things with Nikolai and Brandon. There was like a little bit of Nikolai and Brandon when Nikolai was like, tell me about Lotus Flower and I'll give you some secrets about Jeremy. And Cecily's like, who's Lotus Flower? Which was really funny. Cecily's character development was really good. I thought it was also interesting that they brought back the BDSM sex club thing because if anyone read the RES series, that was a big thing, I think, with Cole and Silver, but I know it was a big thing for Ronan and Teal because, like, Teal joined it. But, yeah, Cecily joined it to get Landon, but ended up finding the mask guy. Yeah, I love Jeremy, love Cecily. Oh my god, you got to see Zan in this book. I love seeing Zan as a parent because when he was with Kimberly, didn't love that because he was very toxic. Like, I forgive him at the end, but I think he needed more groveling. So I really loved seeing him happy with Kim and Green, her being happy and good with her body. I hate to see that Cecily suffers from SA with her, I think it was like prom date. I did not like that, mainly because I really don't believe that Cecily wouldn't have told her parents. I know she wanted to protect them, but I feel like Kimberly is the type of person to tell her that we will protect you no matter what and nothing happened to you. So the fact that she let that all like fester in was a little heartbreaking because after reading the parents book, and seeing the stuff that Kimberly held in, no wonder why Kim was so sad after that. And it was really funny how they called Jeremy a lizard because he doesn't want to think of him as a human, because then he'd have to like him. So I love this book, God of Wrath by Rina Kent. I think I rated this a 4. I really did love the book. The storyline was amazing. It was very fast paced. The middle did get a little slow after I think it was the shooting thing. Yeah, Annika shooting Cray. But after that it did pick up again, and I like how she let him grovel. Maybe a little too long, but Ilya was really funny with the groveling thing. He's like, oh, you're dead. And he's like, I'm sick of your foreplay. So yeah, God of Wrath by Rina Kent. Loved it, ranked it a 4 stars. The one and only book that was my top read of 2024. God of Ruin by Rina Kent. I'm a Landon girly through and through. He is my favorite psycho. Genuinely my favorite psycho. I think there's actually a line where he's like, my favorite psychos. And he's like Landon, Eli, and Kill. Yeah. This book was a 5 star. I did not like the person that ended up being the kidnapping person. But we got a little bit of Creighton. We got a little Remington Asta. We got a little Mia. Mia Sokolov, my girl. I love her. Mia is my number 1 girly, 100%. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, but it's fine. Landon is my favorite psycho. I love him so much. I love how Rina Kent made Landon the way he was, because he does have anti-personality disorder, so he is a narcissist through and through, and so does Kill. So it's interesting to see how similar they are, but so different. So different. His parents, when they found out, they didn't, he burnt down his school. I think it was not his entire school, but he burnt down the science lab or something, and his parents took him to the therapist to see what wrong. They found out. Levi took him to get ice cream, but he still felt like an outsider, so he did treat his family differently. And because of that, he became the popularity star, the one everybody wants. And he is the one everyone wants, you know? Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. I really like the way that Rina Kent made this, because with the sibling dynamic, he is very controlling, but that's because he wants them to be at his standards. And when they make him feel that they're not, he feels very protective of them, which is but I love Kyle Hunter in this, and Jonathan came back with the I have my 2 eldest, Landon and Eli, and she's the latter. So I really like that. The story pacing of this book, I think, was perfect. There was enough enemies to lovers, and the art stuff with the statues, the Muse. Little Muse is my favorite nickname. Oh my god, I love Little Muse. That and Mabel is my favorite nickname ever. So genuinely, everything about this book was perfect. I loved Caden, because there was the chess thing. I love how Mia, when she was playing chess with Caden, she said, it's all about the player, not the game. And she's like, that's a bastard Landon's words. Actually, it's that bastard Levi's words. And Jonathan and his father. So, not Jonathan's father, Levi's father. So, yeah, I loved this book. I thought it was amazing. And I loved Bran in this book and how he taught Landon empathy. He was changing for her, and he changed for the better. I love Landon. Okay, but yeah, he is my favorite, and I hate when I see people on TikTok all the time saying Landon is terrible. I don't know who would want Landon. Are you kidding? Landon's the best. Not to judge anybody. I'm not judging. Don't worry. But Landon is the best. He is iconic. He is the moment, you know? Then we have God of Fury. This book broke my heart. Broke my heart to pieces. I literally cried so many times reading this book. I related to Bran in my own ways, and it was really sad to see him struggle with his sexuality and Nico being so comfortable, and that's why he was able to come out and be who he is, because Nico was just so comfortable in his own skin. And I rated this 5, obviously. I love Nikolai and I love Brandon, and he is the mafia prince that everybody wants, you know? Brandon in his own right is like a prince, so I love Brandon as, like, he calls him Prince Charming. All of the nicknames in this book is amazing. I love the bro. Lotus Flower, iconic Lotus Flower. I love how Kyle was his, like, he used Kyle, his dad, as a crutch, Nikolai, when he's, like, angry and he gets into these little spurts. I did not like, there was one scene in this book I did not like, and that was the tree scene at the end of it was towards the end with Nikolai with Brandon. There's a scene where after they break up, and I think it was Nikolai this time, and Brandon, you know, gave in, and he's like, he just starts leaving, and he's like, you just did this to me and then leave, and he's like, well, you do that to me all the time. And I, like, understood why he did it, and because when he was in that moment, obviously he felt that way. Brandon, there's so much push and pull in this that it's like, Brandon, I understand why he needed to do that, but he was hurting himself more than he was hurting Nikolai. And the fact that he did that to Nikolai and Nikolai did that to him at the end, it pissed me off, but it also made sense, and I loved the way Nikolai's character was. He was the funny golden retriever, but when he's with other people, he's like, I'm the tough guy, like, you know? He has his own struggles too, and I like that because in this situation, there's a lot of things. Like, Brandon spoiler warning, I already said that in the beginning, but I hated that Bran was essayed and Astrid didn't know about it and, like, was working with the girl and kept, like, pushing him on her. So I did not like that, but I love this book. I love Landon and Nikolai's little, like, working together thing. Oh my god, I love that so much. But, like, I ate that up. But, yeah. And I love their sibling relationship. I love Landon, and I loved how they work together. And he said, I love you, little bro. Like, I love that so much, because I call my little brother little bro. So I really loved that they have that little sibling bond, their twin bond. And he, instead of spare parts on his phone, it's other half. I love that so much, because it showed how Landon really did grow because of Mia. And I love how you get the after effect of what happened in God of Ruin, and you get Brandon and Landon's perspective, and it was like him breaking his arm and him talking to her. He's like, sure as hell I would have done it in a heartbeat. And yeah, I love this book. It was amazing. I rated it a 5, 5 out of 5. And story pacing was amazing. This is also something that is making me laugh so much when it probably shouldn't be. Are the heathens doing anything at these initiations? Because none of them are actually, like, doing anything but sleeping around. I mean, what was it? Who was it? Jeremy, in the initiation ceremony, found Cecily and stayed with her the whole time. God of Malice, same thing. Killian was with Glenn the whole time. Oh, I also loved the nickname Little Rabbit. And God of Pain, Annika and Cray were in the Heathen's Mansion in the initiation night. They were in the initiation. Gareth is, if Gareth was in the thing with Caden, then was any of them doing anything in the initiation night other than being with their significant partner? Because then if that's so, then Vaughn is the only one doing everything. But yeah, the last book in the Rina Kent series, Legacy of God, is God of War. I read God of War, and I will say it did take a while to finish. And that was mainly because I was savoring it. That book was amazing. I never read Cole and Silver's book. And reading their relationship was so beautiful. I loved how he still calls her Butterfly. I love that so much. And Silver grew so much. Eli, oh my gosh, he is a mixture of Aiden and Jonathan wrapped in a little perfect bow, in an OCD bow. And I like, it's another way that they showed anti-personality disorder. I'm pretty sure he has it. Like, he genuinely doesn't feel anything, he doesn't feel empathy. And when he's with his brother, he treats his brother good, like a regular person. Like, he will protect his brother no matter what. Same with his family. I think it's maybe the OCD that makes it different, but it's also his dad has it. So he never really took him to the therapist. He just treated him like a normal kid, and he became a normal kid other than, like, you know, but it's interesting, and I love the way Rina Kent did that, because you get to see all stages of everything, and it really does change the character. Because with Aiden, it was more like, I don't think he was born with it. Maybe he was, but I don't think so. He mostly had it. I think you have to be born with it, but he mostly became worse because of his mom and the way he was kidnapped. So it's interesting to see Rina Kent doing those different things. I absolutely love Ava Nash. I love her. I love Ariella. I ranked it a 5. I rate all the last 3 5s, but that's mainly because they're perfection. I wouldn't change anything else about it. I love the family. I loved Ava and Cecily's friendship. I love Eli and Creighton. Oh my god, I loved Eli and Landon's banter. I love how Landon called her Barbie. The pacing was really good. It was very long, but honestly, I enjoyed the length of the book. It wasn't like annoyingly long. It was like long that it was like savoring every last bit. You got a little bit of Mia and Nikolai with Ariella. Oh my god, I want more of that. I want a whole book of just Nikolai and Ariella fighting over Remy and Bran and how perfect they are. It is the most funniest thing ever. Mia's like, what are you guys doing? She's a more vicious version of Ani. I loved that. And I love how they were doing water polo or something. They were playing polo, something. Yeah, it was really funny. And I didn't like that they made it where, like, Cole still held a grudge over Aiden and took that out on Eli. And because of that, Eli had to deal with a lot. And I loved how Aiden stood up for Eli. I loved the banter between Ava and Eli. A lot of people said they didn't like the book because it was very, like, they didn't have big romantic moments. Like, it was really fleeting. But that's kind of, like, I saw it on TikTok. Someone said that's so true. Eli only got fleeting moments with Ava, like the little things, because of the mental illness. She disappeared in and out, so he wasn't able to have so much, like, and that's another thing. They're out of college. They're adults. They're married. And that's why I compare him to Jonathan more than Aiden, because that's what it was for Jonathan. And he acts like Jonathan, but like the piercing eyes, like, that's so Aiden. And like Elsa said that to Aiden so many times. The Tin Man. Oh my god, I loved the Tin Man, because like Aiden called Elsa Frozen, and that's kind of reminds me of Tin Man. But yeah, I really did enjoy this book. Oh my god, I love the end with Cecily's wedding. It was a perfect way to end it, with Cecily's wedding, because I think it was in one of the other books, it was Aiden and Elsa's wedding. And I think Jeremy and Ceci deserved their wedding to be the one shown, especially since it mixed both the heathens and the elites. You got to see all the girls being on one side and all the boys on the other. Yeah, so that's my ranking of it. Oh my god, Ariella and Remy. I absolutely loved Ariella and Remy. I wish Rina Kent made another book with them, because I would devour that in a heartbeat. But yeah, that's my rant. If you stayed for this long, congrats. That's like a lot of me talking. So yeah, but my rankings of the books, I would say God of Ruin first, second, God of Fury, third, God of War, fourth, God of Wrath, fifth, God of Pain, and sixth, God of Malice. And I love all of them. I genuinely love every single one of these books because I genuinely love this entire series. It's a 5-star series altogether. I would read this over and over again. It is a beautiful, beautiful, all of the characters. And yeah, so if you guys stayed this long, like and subscribe. Maybe you'll see another video that you like. And if you want, you could have more of me. You could watch my TikTok channel. And you could also watch my Lemon8 account. I also have an Lemonade account. So yeah. Bye.